Today we're taking a deep dive into Paranormal Activity from 2007. Let's get into it. Alright, today it's all about Paranormal Activity from 2007. We're going to take a deep dive and find out some facts that maybe you didn't know about the movie before this video. Before we get into it, make sure you're smashing that like button for me. Set up notifications so you know when the next video drops. Of course, you got to be subscribed to the channel. It's the easiest way to know when the next videos are coming out. We're releasing 2 videos a week. Plus, we have special bonus episodes that come out every once in a while to talk about, timely news or something like that in the horror industry. But need you liking the video so I know which videos you like. Leave the comments. Let me know what videos you want me to talk about, whether it's in the deep dive series, top 10 lists, awesome or awful series. Definitely want to hear about that. Also looking to do more of, some kind of similar to deep dive series, but kind of forgotten movies that nobody has seen in a while. So, Paranormal Activity from 2007, the movie that kicked off the franchise. It's a 2007 American supernatural horror film produced, written, directed, photographed, and edited, all by Oren Peli. It centers on a young couple, Katie Featherston and Micah Sloat, who are haunted by a supernatural presence in their home. They then set up cameras to document what is haunting them. The film utilizes found footage conventions that were mirrored in later films in the series as well. Obviously, we've done a few videos on Blair Witch on this channel. If it wasn't for Blair Witch, movies like Paranormal Activity would probably never have been made. So, they definitely owe something to there. Then again, a lot of people say if it wasn't for Cannibal Holocaust, the Blair Witch Project would have never been made. So, Paranormal Activity, originally developed as an independent feature and given film festival screenings in 2007. Film was shot for $15,000. It was acquired by Paramount Pictures, modified, particularly with a new ending, to cost an additional total of $200,000 on top of the $15,000 budget just for an ending. Kind of crazy. So, it was given a limited U.S. release on September 25th of 2009. Then a nationwide release on October 16th of 2009. The film earned nearly $108 million at the U.S. box office and a further $85 million internationally, with a worldwide total of $193 million. Paranormal/DreamWorks acquired the U.S. rights for $350,000. It's the most profitable film ever made, based on return on investment. Although such figures are difficult to verify independently, as this is likely to exclude marketing costs. So, chronologically, this film is the third in the series, although obviously it's the first in the series. So, a parallel sequel and prequel, Paranormal Activity 2, is released in 2010. The success of the first 2 films would spawn additional films in the series. The prequel, Paranormal Activity 3, in 2011. Then we had Paranormal Activity 4, the sequel to the second installment in 2012. And the 5th installment, The Marked Ones, was released in 2014. 6th installment, The Ghost Dimension, was released in 2015. Quite a busy franchise. I recently had done a video on the Halloween timeline. Kind of wondering if I need to be doing one Paranormal Activity timeline as well. But, alright. So, also, in June of 2019, there was a 7th installment that is supposed to be released in March 19th of 2021. Then, in August of this year, because of the virus, it was announced it would be delayed until March 4th of 2022. So the series is far from over. Definitely, well, I probably do think it has jumped the shark, but overall, the films still make money, so they're going to keep making them. So, back to the original Paranormal Activity. In 2006, Katie and Micah, a young couple, they move into his new house in San Diego. Katie claims an evil presence has been haunting her since she was a child, so Micah sets up a camera in her bedroom to record any paranormal activity that occurs while they sleep. From there, a lot of interesting scenes take place, such as Katie standing over their bed for a few hours as you watch the time lapse on the camera. Some of those scenes are creepy. I remember watching them for the first time in the theaters, just like, what the hell is she doing? Right? And it was just kind of cool. It's a little bit different. This film, it attempted to focus on the believability rather than action and gore. Peli chose to shot the picture with a home video camera. In deciding on a more raw and stationary format, the camera was almost always sitting on a tripod or something else, and it eliminated the need for the camera crew. There was a higher degree of plausibility. It was created for the audience, so the audience felt more invested in the story and the characters. Peli wanted the dialogue to be natural because there was no real script. That was definitely borrowed from Blair Witch Project. A lot of it was meant to be improvised on. So the characters were given outlines, and they pretty much were allowed to improvise on most of it. This retro scripting technique, like I said, was also what the Blair Witch Project used. And Blair Witch Project even gave a looser outline, apparently, than Paranormal Activity did. So when they casted the movie, Peli said he auditioned a few hundred people before finally meeting Katie Featherston and Micah Sloat. He originally auditioned them individually and later called them back to audition together. Peli was impressed with the chemistry between the actors, saying if you saw the audition footage, you would have thought they had known each other for years. During a guest appearance on a Jay Leno show on November 3rd of 2009, Sloat and Featherstone explained that they each saw the casting call on LA Casting. Featherstone noted that she was originally paid $500 for her work. The original ending was changed at the suggestion of Steven Spielberg. So there are alternate endings. Once Paramount acquired the film, the original ending was scrapped, and 2 new endings were developed for the film, one of them being the one seen in the theaters. The scrapped ending was shown only at one public viewing. The original ending was Katie returns to the and spoilers. Katie returns to the bedroom, sits down against the bed with the knife in her hand, rocking back and forth for almost 2 days straight. Her friend Amber calls and leaves a message saying she's concerned because she hasn't heard from Katie or Micah. Amber eventually comes looking for her, but when she enters the house, she is heard screaming after seeing Micah's body. The creature possessing Katie leaves her body, scaring Amber out of the house before returning to Katie, who resumes rocking back and forth. Police officers arrive at the house about a half hour later and discover Micah's body as well. They call to Katie, who wakes from her catatonic state and seems confused. Katie comes out of the bedroom with the knife still in her hand. The police officers ask her to drop the knife. Following a heated confrontation, a door behind one of the police officers slams shut, startling one of the officers, which causes him to shoot Katie, killing her. The film ends with the police investigating the area and finding nothing, but the camera is still running. So the studio ending, in this ending, available as an alternate ending in the home release of the video, Katie returns to the bedroom after the screaming and noise of her and Micah struggling downstairs. She's holding a knife and it's covered in blood. She closes and locks the bedroom door. Katie walks over, smiles at the camera before cutting her own throat. The scene then fades to black. And there was an unfilmed ending. A third alternate ending was written in which a possessed Katie would corner Micah and bludgeon him to death with his camera while viewers watched from the camera's point of view. The version was deemed too complicated and too brutal to shoot. On review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes, the film had an overall approval rating of 83% based on 204 reviews, with an average rating of 7.01 out of 10. On December of 2009, a short digital comic entitled Paranormal Activity: The Search for Katie was released for the iPhone. It was written by Scott Lobdell and featured art from Mark Badger. There was also a VR game named Paranormal Activity: The Lost Soul that was released by VRWorks for the Oculus Rift, HTC Vive, and PlayStation VR. Now, I can tell you a little bit about my theatrical experience with this movie. I had a hell of a time, right? I kind of went in a few days after the movie released. So it was still opening weekend, right? So I think it was like a Sunday night or something like that. Kind of went in, and what I didn't like about a lot of movie-going experiences are when there's a lot of people loudly talking in the theater. And this one was kind of like that, but I'll be honest, it actually didn't really detract from the viewing because I was kind of so into it, and some of the excess background noise from the people in the theater was actually, kind of, it added to the vibe of the movie a little bit. I liked it so much that I actually told one of my friends the next day, it's like, dude, we got to go see this. And went right back to the theater the next day to take him to see it. Now, he didn't appreciate it as much as I did. But I have not went to too many movies and had to go back the next day to watch it again. I will say that. All right, so back to the film. Filming completed in 10 days. DreamWorks wanted to remake the movie with a bigger budget and better-known actors rather than release the film as it was and use the original as a DVD extra. Glad they didn't. Steven Spielberg had to stop watching the film halfway through on a home screener as he was genuinely spooked by the experience. He completed it in daylight hours the next day and loved it. The entire movie was filmed in Oren Peli's own home. The film, which most people don't notice, has no opening and closing credits. The film was shot in 2006 and not put into general release until 2009. Oren Peli got the idea for the movie from a personal experience. Late at night he was sleeping and a box with detergent fell off the shelf. The box was pushed too far back for it to just tilt and fall. Inspiration comes from weird places. All the special effects were practically done in camera, enhanced by director Oren Peli digitally on his PC. Oren Peli intended to make the film for about $10,000, but the final budget ended up being between $11,000 and $15,000. Although it was released by Paramount, this film is unique, and then the studio's logo doesn't appear nor do credits, except for one establishing copyright. Producer Jason Blum worked at Miramax in the 1990s as a movie distributor and passed on the opportunity to acquire the Blair Witch Project in 1999, a decision he quickly regretted, when the movie became one of the most profitable low-budget films of all times. The market quickly became saturated with knockoffs, made for more money, but without the financial success. When the time was right, Blumhouse produced its own low-budget found footage film with Paranormal Activity, a decision that paid off as he was able to found Blumhouse Productions with the profits. Paranormal Activity beat Saw 6 in 2009 to the top of the box office charts in what became known as the effective end of the Saw franchise. Of course, more Saw films were created. And according to the timestamp on the video, many of the demonic activities occur between 2 and 3:30 a.m. This is a time known as dead time among paranormal researchers, and is when demons, spirits, and entities are supposed to be the most active. So a lot to unpeel with this movie, right? A lot of facts that maybe you didn't know. Let me know which ones you did know and which ones you found to be more interesting. That pretty much wraps this video up. Want to hear from you. Make sure you're liking this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button for me. Set up notifications so you know when the next video drops. So do all that, but most importantly, just keep it horror.